Wanted to hedge it, but usually when the market is setting off like that, you can't hedge it. You have to wait for a little bit of a stability to start writing those options. But this one is just going down, and I'm really down on it on two accounts. And I got stuck in this huge position. It's gonna bounce, but the question is when. Is it in my lifetime, or that's another thing. Yes. All right, guys. So, welcome. Good morning to all of you who are panic selling right now. Market is selling off again. So we are in a very scary situation right now because of the yields and the interest rates. So something that I recently learned actually, and I want to show you, is the yield curve and how it means and why the market is actually acting like that. So as you see, the treasury yield curve right now for the 20-year is 2.1%. For 30-year, which usually should be higher, is actually lower, 2.12%. So that means that the bond market, which is the biggest market, biggest financial market, actually assuming that in the next 30 years the rates are dropping, and we're going to get a recession. That's what they say, flattening the curve. It should be a straight line. As you loan longer, you should get a better yield. But in this particular case, if the 10-year even come higher, it means that you're really flattening the curve, and that's usually a sign of recession or fear in the bond market. Another thing is that the spreads are really getting tighter between the short-term and long-term yields. Like the banks are now getting money from Federal Reserve at 1.26%, like a 3-year rate, and they lend it to you at 2%. So their spread is much tighter. That's what they make money. The banks don't make money from interest rate, but they actually from the spread that they're borrowing and then they're lending to you. Before it was like back into 2020, in this line, or back in 2021, they were getting really free money from Fed, 0.1%, and then they're lending it to you at 1.87%. Now with the rising interest rates, their spread is tighter. That's why what you're seeing here is actually the banks are getting destroyed. JP Morgan Chase, and IWM is also really weak, is because all of these small banks that they make money from the spread, they're getting destroyed. And as you see, JP Morgan Chase is just making another low, because their business model is getting really squeezed. That's the issue. So you might ask why the Feds are keeping interest rates higher, because they have to adjust the inflation. So if you just don't control the liquidity, the inflation would be out of the hand. So that's why they say Fed is kind of trapped, because they don't know what to do. They have to increase the interest rate to control inflation, but at the same time they remove liquidity from the banks and the market, and that's a reaction to the market. So what's going to happen, we really don't know, to be honest with you. We have to see that the supply goes up, because the Fed has two mandates: the high employment and low inflation. And the inflation is now bothering everyone, including the Feds. And part of it is because of the supply of money, but part of it is actually because of the supply chain issues. There is just not enough parts to make new cars, and that's the problem that they have. They have to increase the rates. Maybe they don't, maybe they but we have to see that. But that's why in the last couple of days, the banks like JP Morgan, Citi, most of the banks are getting really beaten up, including IWM, which has a lot of small regional banks in there. As money becomes tighter, so the sectors that are very overvalued, usually represented by QQQ, they're very high overvalued stocks. They're really, people don't try to put their money in there, because now money is becoming more expensive. So why would you park your money in there? That's why, disruptive technologies like ARK is also really down, because it's just nobody wants to put their money for the future disruption. Having said that, we had a pretty good day. I had a pretty good day on Microsoft, and I'm down really bad on this TNA. We wanted to hedge it, but usually when the market is setting off like that, you can't hedge it. You have to wait for a little bit of a stability to start writing those options. But this one is just going down, and I'm really down on it on two accounts, and I got stuck in this huge position. It's gonna bounce, but the question is when. Is it in my lifetime, or that's another thing. So that was it. Microsoft for me was the trade of the day. I just traded Microsoft as really nice ABCD pattern. So if you can see that, I'm actually still in there. So really squeezed at the open. Very nice, very strong 5-minute opening range breakup, and then did a really nice ABCD pattern pullback, and I went long at 309 and rode it all the way up to 314, and I'm still down there. We wanted to, Brian and I wanted to trade the what do we call is 920 trade, but I just didn't like the fact that it just keeps selling off, and I didn't add or I didn't do anything, and I'm glad I didn't. So that's pretty much it for me. Brian, what did you do?
I tried a couple of marginally bad trades. DWAC, I kept thinking it was going to bounce, it didn't. Tried that twice. Stopped out twice, and then I got in the Microsoft trade with you, and yeah, that was probably my best trade. So that's about it.
Perfect. Yeah, I had a
few other little trades.
Yeah, sorry. I know Jared traded SoFi. It bounced from this S3. It was a really nice bounce, popped up from here. So that was nice. I was thinking of it, but I was pretty much happy with my Microsoft trade. So yeah, I have a really big loss. Like this one is now 800,000, and that's not the only account that I have. I have a little bit of more here too. So there's 320 here as well. So in total is $1.25 million unrealized, which is horrible. And I really shouldn't have put myself in this, but we'll see. I mean, at least you see all observe what's gonna happen. I'm gonna let you know what happens. Either I'm selling it at the bottom or just holding it for a couple of more years, but it's horrible. Anyways, yeah, don't put yourself into this position. Just jump in this without any plan, and I might have to deal with it. Dan, that's it for me. For now, we just get this Microsoft going on a little bit, and that's my plan. So yesterday we had a really nice presentation by Thor. It's posted in the Education Center. Big Capital Traders, guys, mentorship in 20 minutes. We want to talk about defining your strategy and jumping from one strategy to other. And yeah, even Qs went red. So yeah, everything is just now red.
Qs are still red, but they are green, but the SPY's gone red.
Yeah, excellent. So that turned out to be a dead cat bounce. We might keep going and test the 369. All right, have a good day, guys. If you have any question, put it in the comments, and yeah, all the best and wish you luck.
Cheers.